great ending to a story, right? And we all know how dissatisfying or how bugging it is when we hear a lousy end to a great build-up. Good evening, everyone. First of all, let's ask you all, uh, do you remember any movie or story or any series which has a great ending? Any of you? Three Idiots? Anything else? कुछ कुछ होता है. Wow. And Inception? Kantara. Okay. Money Heist. All of the boys endings are. Okay, that list would go on. And any dissatisfying endings? Game of Thrones. How I Met Your Mother, indeed. Mirzapur. I was expecting someone again would say Inception. Because these are the answers like Interstellar, great ending. Interstellar, worst ending. Okay, so with this, I remember a story. It is about a senior of mine. He was in my school, 5 to 6 years senior to me. I never got a chance to really know him personally, but he was present everywhere. From every event to every competition to every sport to every new punishment to every crime scene to everywhere. You may find him doing frog laps in like this auditorium. And moments later, when the bell rings, he would be decorating the same auditorium. He was the most cheerful guy in the school. He was at that time a part of badminton team. So once after the practice, he and his friends were returning to home. So they decided to take a shortcut through the railway yard. For those of you who don't know what a railway yard is, it's a place where railway keeps its engines when they are not in use. So they decided to go through there, and during the day-to-day banter and playing, they somehow managed to get their shuttlecock land over one of the engines. And he thought, wow, that's my moment to be the Chenya Chenya guy. Yeah, boom, dude. Those were the days, right? So he decided to climb up, and he did, and asked one of his friends to take a photo of his. His friend said, okay, but your hair is something different. They're rising. He tried to check it out, and his hand suddenly pulled by the overhead railway lines. His whole body was in the air for some seconds. After 2 seconds, he fell down on the ground, completely covered in 3-degree burns. He was immediately taken to the hospital, from where he was referred to Jaipur for better facilities. Completely covered in 3-degree burns, that was the pain which he survived for 7 days. But eventually, he wasn't able to make it. During those 7 days, every single one of our teachers went to Jaipur to see him. Over there, he used to say, "Arey sir, सही हूँ मैं, आ जाऊंगा थोड़े दिन में, homework थोड़ा लेट करूंगा, वो consider कर लेना बस." He wasn't able to get back to the school. His photo with a garland is still hung on one of the walls of the classroom he last sat upon. That was the story for me, which I think didn't get the ending which it deserves. Well, a dissatisfying ending. It often happens to us. After all, we only have a handful of satisfying endings and a million of stories to go. Our life is just a bunch of million of stories, right? But in this case, we knew that the story has ended. But what's even worse, when you don't realize the story has ended, it's just stuck in the between. And for some reason, we are just trying to push it to a satisfying incident. We don't want to leave it at this point. We are just thinking just one more thing to say, just one more act to do, just one more moment to spend, so that I don't have any grudges in my heart. Just to get one closure. We spend, I don't know how much time to just get that story to a desired point. And you know what's the consequences of that? Every single story, every single series of events affects all the other ongoing parallel stories. We all know how wow-fying, how interesting everything becomes when our crush texts us, and how irritating everything becomes when we get low marks in our courses. Well, so for the next time, whenever you feel stuck, this is not the thing just to drive it without drive a lost cause, without knowing how would it end. For the next time, whenever you feel it's stuck in between, just let go and focus on the other stories. Because not every story gets a climax which is good enough. Because every climax has a cost. Sometimes the cost is your patience. Sometimes the cost is your relationship which you have built down the road. Sometimes the cost is the great potential climax of the other ongoing stories. And most of the time, unfortunately, the cost isn't worth it. Well, we all have seen how things could stuck in between. Let's just, from next time onwards, let them go and use that dissatisfaction as the fuel for the next stories to have a great climax. Because, as I said earlier, we only have a handful of satisfying endings and a million of stories to go. Which ends, which doesn't, the choice is entirely yours. Thank you.